At the weekend, I had a fantastic reminder for why tubeless tyre technology is so darn good and why for me personally it's worth the hassle that's sometimes involved with this new technology. So I was out riding on Sunday on my lovely Carnago C68, testing these new Roval Rapid deep section carbon wheels with an S-Works Turbo Rapid Air tyre, all tubeless and set up. Doing some comparison testing with these and the super lightweight Alpinist wheels for a future video. So about halfway through the ride, I was just bimbling along, just going up a steep hill so I could catch my breath. I looked down between my legs at the frame and noticed down by the chainstay some sealant on the frame. Up to that point, I had no knowledge that I had punctured, so I stopped by the side of the road, just starting to rain at the point as well. I noticed a telltale sign of a hole in the tyre, just below the centre section above the sidewall. Small bit of bubbling sealant, quite a bit on the rear light, rear seat tube section and down by a chainstay. So at this point I had two choices: carry on, put some more air in the tyre, get a plug in there, or change an inner tube. So naturally I got back on the bike and carried on riding. And I carried on riding for another hour all the way home. And the ride home involved a very fast descent and quite a big hill and some rolling lumpy bits. And I made it home, I'm relieved to say, because it was raining quite a bit towards the end of that 2-hour ride. So happy days. Didn't have to put any more air pressure in there, no tubeless plugs, no inner tube, no faffing by the side of the road in the rain. Now I shared this on my Instagram on Sunday evening and the response was quite interesting. Loads and loads of interest and loads of messages in Instagram. Quite a mixed response as you might expect, but definitely more lean towards tubeless being a benefit than it being a negative, as many people seem to think it is. Now, when I set out for that ride, I had 75 PSI in the rear tyre. I know because I always inflate my tyres before every single ride. So I had 75 PSI in the rear tyre. And normally in that situation, when I notice a puncture, I would get my mini pump out and top up the pressure and carry on riding. But I didn't, all in the name of science. I wanted to see what tyre pressure I would have when I got home and had a Trek pump to see what my tyre pressure was. And it was, drum roll please, 35 PSI. So yes, I lost lots of pressure from 75 down to 35, but importantly, I was able to carry on riding with no massive kind of negative effect on the performance of the bike. Yes, it felt squidgier, a bit more bouncing on the rear tyre, but it wasn't bouncing on the rim. I was able to carry on riding home. But as I said, normally I'll get the pump out and top up the pressure and then carry on riding, but I didn't in the name of science. So quite a bit of pressure loss, but enough to get home. And for me, that's a perfect demonstration of tubeless technology. That's how it should work, and when it works, you wonder why you ever bother with inner tubes, and it is worth the hassle. Worth the hassle of fitting tyres and messing around with sealant, trying to get it to seat properly. But these days, with this combination and with many new tubeless tyres now in the market, the installation is much easier. As easy as a clincher tyre with an inner tube in my experience. So that hassle that was there with early tubeless becoming less of an issue as we go forward, thankfully. Now, after I got home, naturally, did the first thing you normally do, had a shower, got some food, had a beer, didn't worry about the bike until the next day. But I've since given the tyre a quick check over. I pumped it back up to 75 PSI and the pressure is holding. And I can't actually find a hole. I've looked and just can't find a hole at all. I mean, is there somewhere? But I can't find it. There's a small cut on the top of the tyre there, but that's not where the hole was. It was down by the bottom of the tread, just above the sidewall. But I can't see a hole, and I pumped it back up. There's no air leaking out. So for me, that's good to go. Now, ideally, you probably take the tyre off and make sure you have enough sealant in there, because I lost some clear down the frame. But for me, I'm gonna just pump it back up and carry on riding and see how it gets on. So for me, that is why I use tubeless, why I have used tubeless on mountain bikes back in the ghetto tubeless days, if you remember those. Use them on my gravel bikes, even when sometimes, like in that Trans-Cambrian experience, they can let you down. But in that situation, an inner tube wouldn't survive either. And why, even on a road bike with a high pressure applications, I think tubeless is definitely worth the hassle. But less and less hassle these days as tyres and rims get better and better. So tubeless for the win, 100% yes. Now, if you want to see a video on how to set your tyres and rims up tubeless, then check the video right here. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel by hitting the button down here. But that's all for today. Just want to give you a quick update on my tubeless experience at the weekend. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment down below. I'll see you all again next time. Thank you so much for watching.